Let's switch gears a little bit and talk about probate. It is a fact of life. It can happen. Explain the process of probate.
Yeah, so obviously it's a fact of life. The biggest thing is come talk to your lawyer whenever someone in your life passes away. If they have a will or not, there's different processes, but essentially if you need to, and again in the real estate context, if they own a house, we need to transfer that house. It's not just going to stay in their name. There needs to be what's called an estate trustee to transfer that property on the behalf of the estate of that individual. So you need to come to our office. You need to bring in the will if you have it, or bring in any information you have on the will, because obviously lawyers hang on to them and in their safes, in our fireproof safes. There's plenty of rules on what we have to do with wills. But yeah, so then we can find the will for you, and basically as the estate trustee, we would then file to the court to get that certificate, says I am the estate trustee, and then you have the power to then sell their house, collect their assets, and administer the estate on their behalf. If they don't have a will, there's additional processes, just a couple extra steps, but it's essentially the same. You essentially just file to the court to get that certificate, and you have to administer the estate according to the estate laws of Ontario, and basically just fairly to all the beneficiaries.
In terms of time frame, we know from experience that sometimes they take quite a bit of time to get through. What are we looking at right now locally in terms of getting probate?
So it depends on, obviously depends on the week, depends on the transaction. You know, you're looking at probably 3 to 4 months on the typical side. Now, we've also had ones, and I will give credit to the Hamilton Estates office, where we'll send an estate down, we'll send the application down with a letter saying, hey, we have a real estate deal closing in a month, in a couple weeks, in whatever, is this possible? And we'll follow up with a phone call. The staff are super professional, they are super helpful, and we've had ones turned around in a couple weeks for us. So you're looking at typically a little bit longer, but you know what, if we're in a pinch and things happen, death is sudden, if something happens and you have a deal closing, the courts, it's not impossible to get it turned around relatively quickly.
It's also a good lawyer.
Yeah, it's all going back to relationships and everything else, right? Having
Absolutely,
that relationship with the estate office and everything goes a long way.